He was. I've got to say. I mean, you guys might have seen that hit or not. That's nothing to do with any medical staff. That was a very poor attempted tackle from Keanu Neal from the Falcons. That was pretty shocking challenge altogether. But I mean, you're not wrong, James. I think if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, we lead that table on adjusted wins following through losing players from injury. That seems to be a fairly constant thing with us, and I don't see it changing. And who knows? Williams may have a point in terms of the staff and the medical team. I just think Williams is tired of losing, and he knows he's a absolute premier player who should be playing in the playoffs. He's probably just cheesed off with that. Maybe he just wants more cash. Who knows? No, to answer your question, Jay, the longer this goes, the less likely I think we'll see him in a Washington uniform again. Very sadly.
For the Ravens, NFL.com said that the Ravens are reinventing their offense after the Chargers cooled off Lamar Jackson and the ground-based attack in the playoffs. They drafted rookie wide receivers Marquise Brown in the first round and Miles Boykin in the third, which should help. And it would be nice to see if Jackson can improve his accuracy. The result, did they actually answer that question? Well, it's tough to say. We saw very little of Hollywood Brown, only in the third preseason game, 3 for 17, 3 catches, 17 yards. And Boykin, though, has produced in the preseason. Big play last week for 44 yards. So I think that's still a wait and see. I'm not necessarily a believer in Lamar Jackson taking. I know I said year 1 to year 2 is the biggest jump for these rookie quarterbacks, and Josh Allen is probably starting to see that. I don't know if I can say the same thing for Lamar Jackson, if only because I haven't really seen much of him this preseason.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with a lot of these starting quarterbacks. You're not seeing any of them at all, except for, standing in their jerseys on the sideline, having a good time with the other starters who most likely aren't playing the preseason. My big concern with Lamar Jackson is not so much how he looks, as how he adjusts, pretty much more so to the change in offensive philosophies from last year to this year. Last year, he stepped in to an offense in the last 7 games of the season that was clearly tailored around Joe Flacco, and now he's got an offense completely designed around his abilities. And granted, yes, it's Greg Roman who made Colin, I'm not going to say made Colin Kaepernick, but basically took advantage of all the tools that Colin Kaepernick had. But you can see some of those same tools in Lamar Jackson. I'm just trying to see if Greg Roman can reproduce the same success in Baltimore that he did in Frisco.
Neil, any thoughts on the Ravens?
No, don't care.
Good. Tennessee Titans are at the Chicago Bears, 8 o'clock kickoff, Soldier Field in Chicago. James, what did Jordan have to say about the Titans?
Said quarterback Logan Woodside. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. He was already an AAF star. He was solid in preseason. To me, he was better than Blaine Gabbert and Matt Castle than we've had in the past. Don't typically keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster, but obviously Mariota and Tannehill have both had injury issues in their career, plus they're both on 1-year contract essentially, and their line looks like garbage right now, colorfully speaking. So I'd rather be safe at this position. The big question he had was how the new offensive weapons will look. Humphreys, A.J. Brown, and he included Delaney Walker since he's old and coming off a big injury. Desperately need this to be a vast improvement over last year. As far as whether that's been answered, sort of. Humphreys was a star in preseason week 1. Delaney caught a touchdown in week 2, and A.J. Brown had some nice plays in week 3. But that's about it. He didn't really see much of them together.
Do you want an in-depth analysis on Logan Woodside?
No.
Yes, I do.
No.
Right,
no.
I mean, that guy, he's got to be a lumberjack, hasn't he, with a huge beard? What a great name, Logan Woodside. You imagine with his axe and his chainsaw, stomping through some marsh, cutting down timber.
Oh, Neil, that's well done.
Next.
The Bears' number one problem going into the preseason was kicker. Eddie Pinheiro has, quote unquote, won the job. Chicago Thomas said numerous times on previous shows the kicker isn't currently on this team. So is this the team that will have Carly Lloyd on the field in preseason game 4? Now, Carly Lloyd did it at Eagles practice, right, James? You guys don't have the kicker issue.
No, we don't. It was a joint practice with the Eagles and the Ravens. So she was out there with both Nate, Elliott, and Tucker.
So we know the Ravens don't have a kicker problem. So I am very curious to what team offered Carly Lloyd this opportunity to kick in preseason week 4. Do we find out? I mean, somebody's got to give this up, right? This is too big of a story for no one to know who it actually was. It's
got to be a team who struggled to sell preseason tickets, no?
Well, how many of these teams have sold tickets?
Yeah, well, true. That's true.
Let's see, I got the Buccaneers, the Jaguars,
Redskins.
Buccaneers could be the team. I mean, I don't know where Carly Lloyd lives, but I would imagine most of the soccer players are in one of the warm weather states.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a funny thing, this, isn't it? This sort of how does a team get itself in such a rut over a position that's reasonably easy to find average kind of to above average guy? It's a funny thing.
Well, Dallas cut Dan Bailey a couple of years ago for no reason whatsoever, and that blew up in their face.
Well, and I think that's the point. I think that's the point, though, Neil. If you're the Chicago Bears and you're in a playoff game and you're relying on that average kicker to get that game winner for you and he double blinks it, that's sort of where they're at. They don't want the average kicker. They want an elite kicker.
Time out. Before it double doinked, it was blocked.
Yeah, that's true.
Continue.
I totally agree with you, Jay. It's just one of those things where you think, well, you've gone about it in a weird way. You have these bizarre pressurized kicking competitions that are all over the media, and then you're bringing 13 different kickers this year to try out, and guys are feeling like they miss one kick and they're out, and it's they seem to have gone so overboard with it. They've made the problem bigger than it actually should have been. I think they probably wanted Robbie Gould back, didn't they? And then didn't get him, and then they panicked, something like that.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Weird.
So anyway, I'll be on Carly Lloyd watch. I am on Carly Lloyd watch. I totally am here to see it. I want to see her. I want to see her kick, and then I want to see her win a job. I actually want to see her get a contract to be an NFL kicker.
She did say she was going to absolutely try out for a team next year for the 2020 season, not this year. So,
when you say you're on Carly Lloyd watch, that does sound a bit perverted, to be honest.
All right. Tampa Bay is at Dallas, 8 p.m.
You're the one that missed them.
AT&T Stadium.
I'm on there. Honestly, for years I've been on Jennifer Love Hewitt watch, but she's never got into an NFL game yet. But I'm still waiting.
By the way, Google some recent images of Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's gonna ruin your fantasies.
Oh no!
Against my better judgment, I'm going to put Neil on this game, the two SuperFans who wrote the 2 longest previews.
Oh, thanks. I'm Googling Jennifer Love Hewitt. Get lost. Get somebody else to do it. Right.
Kevin couldn't keep it simple, could he?
I will try to make this quick. I'm going to skip this whole preamble. Go right to his number. He's got numbered bullet points.
What we could do, Jay, is just skip Dallas and talk about Tampa.
Is the Dak to Gallup connection actually improved? He says yes. Will the Cowboys be able to survive with Zeke? Yes and no. We're not a Super Bowl team without, but Tony Pollard has shown way more than I thought he would this preseason, proving he's more than a pass-catching back and can run inside the tackles. 3, who is the backup quarterback? The answer, Cooper Rush. He dramatically and drastically outplayed Mike White this preseason. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. He'll be the man with the clipboard. Is the defensive line really that deep? Again, emphatic yes. The additions of Kerry Hyder, Covington, and the development of Malik Collins and Dorrance Armstrong make this a top 5 unit heading into the season. You guys agree with that?
No,
I disagree with the guys coming off an injury.
You need to stop soon, because I've got a little bit of vomit coming into my mouth.
I would say Carly Lloyd could perhaps end up in Dallas because, again, is the kicker situation really a problem? He says it is, but Brett Maher has done enough to keep his job after making 4 field goals, 2 extra points last week against the Texans. He's far from inspiring confidence, though. I mean, would Jerry Jones put a woman out on the field for the Dallas Cowboys?
No. Depends what she was doing, I suppose.
Oh, God. I can't believe I asked that question.
Well, Neil does have a point. I mean, if he's wearing the Dallas Cowboys cheergirls uniform, then yeah, he would. But as far as the football uniform, no, he wouldn't.
Is our Tampa Bay Buccaneers super fan before this goes to an area I don't want it to be. Bubble players that could make an impact on another team. Quarterback Ryan Griffin worried the Bucs were going to keep Blaine Gabbert, but with his shoulder injury in week 3, Griffin will be safe for now. Running backs, Dari Ogunbowale and Bruce Anderson. Dare, who I picked to make the 53-man roster last season, has had a very good preseason. I think he's locked himself in, and I do not believe that he'll be cut, which leaves Bruce Anderson, who's an undrafted free agent, a Tampa native that played college ball up here at NDSU, who was on my short list of running backs the Bucs would draft. He's on the bubble if they decide not to keep Andre Ellington. They're going to keep Andre Ellington. Wide receiver, Scotty Miller, Bobo Wilson, Justin Watson. Tight end, Tanner Hudson. Defensive line, Raheem Nunez Roches. Inside linebacker,
one
Jack
player,
CJ.
right?
I mean, I did. He literally listed like an entire team. So apparently there's an entire team of players that are going to be cut from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Isn't there a Tampa Bay XFL team? The XFL Storm or something like that? The Tampa Bay Storm? I don't even know what the Tampa Bay team is. It's something generic, though. I know that. In any case, they could all get cut from the XFL Tampa Bay team.
The Vipers.
The Fifers?
Yes, the Vipers. That's what it is.
Oh, the Vipers. Okay.
Vipers.
Okay. Yeah. He's got questions. He says the coaching staff has been solved, the defensive backs have been solved, and the offensive line is very scary.
In a bad way.
Yes, in a very bad way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's your Tampa Bay. So apparently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the feeder team for the Tampa Bay Vipers.
The rest of the league.
Do you believe in Bruce Arians? Here in Tampa?
I kind of do.
I'm on the fence.
I let's put it this way. If you were going to ask me, do I believe in Jameis Winston? The answer is no. So do I believe in Bruce Arians? I think yes, but I don't believe in Jameis Winston, and he does, which makes me a little frightened for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I still feel Dirk Cutter had a big part in Winston not being where he should be.
The Kansas City Chiefs are at the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, 8 p.m. kickoff. Neil, what did Nick have to say about the Chiefs?
Too much by the looks of it. What to watch, even though you didn't ask. This will be only the Chiefs' second look at cornerback Mo Claiborne. Believe me, Nick, you don't want a third look at Mo Claiborne. He's terrible. And it could be our first peek at newly signed quarterback Matt Moore, who, what was it, formerly Dolphins? Would that be right?
I think
Matt
so.
Moore, who will be the presumed backup going into season after Chad Henne broke his ankle last week. A player to watch. Player Nick doesn't want cut is guard/tackle Andrew Wiley. Andy Reid intimated that Wiley and Cam Irving are competing for one spot as the guard/swing tackle. Wiley's a great story. Yeah, we don't care. Biggest question in the offseason, can this defense improve enough to be trusted to get some big stops when it matters? Nick, the answer is no, because you'll no doubt choke against the Patriots at some point. And question 3, was that answered? Nope. But there's no way it could be until at least a few weeks into the season. Okay, thanks, Nick, for that. Even by preseason standards, they kept the new look unit close to the vest. Ew, just the thought of Andy Reid's vest. That's going to be horrible, isn't it? Honey Badger played just 2 snaps, and the rest of the starters only 3 series. That said, what they showed gave plenty of cause to be confident in the run defense. Confident that the run defense will be significantly better, and this front seven can get to the quarterback, no doubt about 2 or 3 seconds after he's thrown the completion. I'm not. Do I need to go